Phil, you live with these people. They were in Malaysia.
Yeah. So these are the Orang Asli, the original people.
Holy shit, dude. So you went down, you've been in the rainforest to live with the Orang Asli people 4 or 5 times. Walk me through what you did down there with these people.
I visited...
Did you smash? Did you fucking?
No. And this is actually where the lady was banging on the tree with her machete to scare away the tiger that was near us.
So there was a tiger here while you were filming?
Yeah.
Dude, this is insane. Phil, you live with these people. They were in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And where they live in the cities? They live out in the jungle.
They used to live in the jungle.
Okay.
Until the jungle got cut down.
Right.
And now there's very little jungle left. And the government encouraged them / coerced them to settle down into villages. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's wild. So and the people, the Orang Asli, that means or what is Orang Asli even
Orang
mean?
Asli is a Malay word.
Okay.
Orang means person or people, and Asli means original. So these are the Orang Asli, the original people.
All right. So you spent some time with them.
Yeah.
How many times have you been down there?
Oh, 4 or 5 times.
Holy shit, dude. So you went down. You've been in the rainforest to live with the Orang Asli people 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. The first time I didn't get to spend that much time. I only visited the village like two times and hung out for a couple days and got to know some people. And there was one young man, his name was and he spoke really good English. He could even speak some Thai. And yeah, so I befriended him, and then every time I came back I would stay with and yeah, he would explain things to me. He would teach me their language, and I would teach him more English.
Where did he learn English?
He learned English from an English guy who worked with a tiger conservation organization called MyCat. And he actually spent a lot of time there. Was an exceptional person who really took interest in languages.
Okay.
He could speak other native languages, Semai, which is another group. He could speak other Batek dialects.
Yeah.
He could speak some Thai, Malaysian, Indonesian. Yeah.
Damn.
He was really a
That's
special
crazy.
guy.
So the Orang Asli or the Batek people of Malaysia, they were the first people to live in that land. That's the story.
So Orang Asli is a term. It's an exonym. So it's a term from the Malaysian state, or from the Malaysian culture, that has been applied to all the pre-Malay settling people, or the people who were there before the state began. And so those include those include different peoples, and they have different names. So the Batek people are one of those groups, and Batek in the Batek language just means people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People's people.
People of people.
People of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Are they in what part? I'm sorry. What part of Malaysia are they in? Are they in Sabah or Sarawak? Are they on the island, or are they part?
They're
of
on
the
Peninsular Malaysia.
Okay. Cool.
So the Peninsular Malaysia has had human settlement occupation for, I believe, could be around 60,000 years, maybe even 80,000. I have to look it up again.
Yeah, okay.
But close to in those range. So very, very long history of human settlement in the peninsula. Yeah.
Is there anything before humans that predates humans, like Homo erectus or any shit like that?
Oh yeah, there must be. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. Yeah,
These
really,
guys are
really
crazy,
exciting,
bro.
really interesting stuff.
So walk me through what you did down there with these people.
I visited.
Did you smash? Did you fucking?
No. I visited. I was always curious about like non-state people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, before I knew about what a non-state person was. Because when I was a kid, I was like, I didn't like school. I didn't like have to do all these things.
Yeah. You're identified as a non-state.
Yeah. And then when I grow up, I'm like, I don't want to have the job. I don't want to do these things. I don't want to. What are these? What are these organizations that rule our lives? What are these structures that?
Yeah.
And then I learned in university about hunter-gatherers in Anthropology 101.
Nice.
And also about all the different organizations of humans. So you have the civilization, you have horticulturalists, you have herders, and you have hunter gatherers. And when I learned about hunter gatherers, I was like, oh man, these guys, they don't have inequality, they don't have gender inequality, they don't have hierarchy, they don't have violent conflict, or generally
they don't have all the shit that makes society wacky.
Yeah, exactly. So all the things that society tells us that we're progressing in,
or it's all the things that society tells us are important.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, we need to strive for these things. Meanwhile, we already had it in our original state,
right?
So to say, you know,
like it.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of Google Chrome add-ons. To what life should be.
Yeah. So the depiction of our human nature is like by the state is more of a reflection of what life is like in the conditions that we find ourselves in, living as civilized state governed people versus humans in nature. So anyway, that's what interested me in hunter gatherers and native people. So I visited them. There was a ecotourism company that hired some of them as guides. I befriended some people in the ecotourism company. They brought me over, introduced me. I hung out with them. They were really cool people too, the ecotier people. And yeah, we started, I'd come back on my own independently then and hang out and just get to know them. And
this is ecotourism, so like as in like they take people through the rainforest? Yeah.
So they do a bunch of conservation stuff too. They do animal tracking. Cool. They do some surveying, and they also do education. They work with a lot of school groups. So they would go out and collect garbage, or they would go out on jungle treks, and for the jungle treks, they hired some of the Batek ladies and Batek men to take them around, show them. And I mean, imagine you're a high school student and you get to spend 3 nights in the jungle with some native people.
That'd be fucking trippy as fuck.
From the jungle. I mean, what a cool experience for these young kids. Yeah. And young adults almost, I'd say. Definitely. And because actually in a lot of indigenous communities or societies, you become of age much younger. Like you're given a lot more autonomy at a younger age. Yeah.
This is
I know where your mind's going.
Yeah, I know this is a slippery slope. Like, so what's the youngest they can get pussy over there? That was strong. That's fucked up. Yo, that's fucking wild, dude. That's pretty wild. What's like the makeup of the population that you've seen? Is it like mostly elders, or like middle-aged people, young kids? Like what?
Yeah. So what I'm seeing is not how they used to live. They used to live in the jungle. Their organization, their structure was different, right? Their makeup of their groups. Now they've been forced together, and there's many groups been sort of forced together. 3 or 4, what you would say, groups have been put together that didn't necessarily identify as the same.
Right, they're not Batek.
Well, they are Batek, but they would say like we're this Batek and we're those Batek. We're like, the whole identity thing is much smaller because you don't have like this the state telling you, oh, we're all Americans and we're all South Africans, rah rah.
Right.
So
their loyalties to like the clan.
Yeah, or your kinship group and so on. Yeah. So you have these sort of lines and they got smushed together. But in the forest, they would have lived in groups of maybe just 10 to 20 people and move around, and they would fracture and come together and then, move around according to the resources and also just like on their own interests. Like, oh, I just want to go visit my aunt. I want to visit my mother's. I want to visit my nephew or something. And so the people in the camps, even the camps would fracture and merge and come together. So, but in the village now, there's about, I'd say 200 people or so. A lot of kids. Settled life means more kids, generally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
There were old people there too. There's definitely a lot of old people. Period. Yeah.
What that's pretty fucking crazy, dude. Is there a leader? Like, do they have a king?
There's no king. There's no leader. And I don't think they don't even.
If you went down there and said, you guys, I want to be your leader. I want to be the king of the Batek.
They wouldn't. They would just like walk away.
Someone should take power. Someone Batek dude should take power of the clan.
It's impossible. That's the whole. their nature, their whole thing is that they don't want hierarchy. Their whole thing is that they don't want a leader or someone to tell them what to do.
So they live in an egalitarian society where everyone's equal. Things are shared communally.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the bathing situation?
They have a pipe. They have piped water from the hill that comes in. So they use that, but mostly they just go to the stream and wash.
It's like I've been to like in Burma. I was in a village. I was passing by, and I remember they were everyone in the village was bathing around like 2 or 3 giant ongs. I guess it was like
the street corner
street center
or
or something.
somewhere.
It was like a center. Yeah, it was crazy. But they were all. It was a community. Like everyone in the village was bathing at the same time.
Yeah, and ong is a big basin.
Yeah, big like ceramic jar, basically, just a giant one. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, they still do that in Myanmar when I visit. Yeah.
Okay, so we want to dive in. Which one of these videos should we look at first? So Phil runs Phil's got a page.
YouTube channel.
Phil's got a YouTube channel with just fucking hella videos about the Batek and his time with the Orang Asli Batek people.
Yeah, we got 5 videos.
Let's dive in. What should
Go to Batek women or Batek women make a cozy jungle shelter to the left.
That's it? I clicked the wrong one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So again, you couldn't be king. You couldn't even tell them, like even if you offer them money to do stuff,
right?
It doesn't. They'll just be like, "Oh, I don't feel like it today," and then later they might come back and say like, "Okay, there's 5 people now. We all want to go." So yeah, this is near their village. This is just like, I don't know, 10-minute walk from their village. Now they're in the forest. You can see the pipe there with the dog.
So that dog, what's the story behind that dog?
Well, when they lived in the forest, they didn't keep dogs, and they don't really keep dogs anymore or at all. They never did. But the dogs are just around. So they must have they were just feral dogs.
No way.
Malays don't keep dogs either because they're Muslim. So
Muslims don't have pet dogs?
No. They don't want to touch dogs. It's like touching a pig.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do they have cats?
Yeah. Muslims are cat people.
Right. I've seen pictures of Istanbul.
So the dogs are just sort of there, and I mean the dog follows them. It's just like a dog that lives with them.
Look at that jungle. It's wild. What's the predator situation in that jungle? Are there are there tigers?
Well, I mean, there are tigers.
Jaguars.
There are tigers, and I think the tiger numbers are increasing.
Holy shit!
Due to conservation efforts.
I think if there's any reason to not live in the jungle, tigers would be pretty.
Oh yeah,
tigers would be like the best.
Tigers are just knowing that tigers are around is scary. It makes you feel very vulnerable just knowing that there's tigers around and that tigers from time to time do attack people. Like while I was there, maybe not this time, but a month later, I learned of a tiger attack on a man, an adult male, young adult male.
Jesus.
And a young companion, like maybe prepubescent boy, and they were like trying to. I don't know if it was his son, but they were camping. They're trying to get back to camp a different way from the other group, and then they got attacked and killed by
Isolate,
the tiger.
Penetrate. Tiger's plan. Oh my god, dude.
So an old tiger who can't hunt sambar deer anymore.
Right.
Or what else do they have there? Tapirs and pigs and so on. They'll go for an old human potentially, or a cow.
Maybe like a small child.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, even an adult male, like that happened in Kelantan province.
God damn.
Or state.
What's So what what kind of meat do they eat? Do they eat any meat at all?
Who, the Batek people?
Right now they've been
Tigers
harvesting.
Or Batek?
They've been harvesting edible palms.
So they collected one palm, which they eat the heart of, and you can eat it raw, I believe. So that was a very thorny one. All these palms also that they're cutting down have thorns, but those are for the shelter that they're gonna make.
Dude. And she's got fucking her hair is not Asian hair. She's got Afro.
Well, here's the thing. It is Asian hair because they're the original Asians.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear that, black people? That Afro shit, it's Asian. That's ours. We invented that Afro. No way. Dude.
Well, I mean, there's a big diversity of looks, but yeah, they're not what we would consider stereotypically
so
Asian.
They're from out of Africa theory, there was 2 populations of Homo sapiens that left the continent of Africa. This is like the first. So like all of us, most people in the world today are part of that second wave of migration that went out and expanded all over to every corner of the earth, right? But these people, and along with the Aboriginals and other First tribes, original peoples, were from that first wave of migration.
I knew people in Japan, and some of the people on the mainland of the Eastern Asian coastline.
Yeah,
I forget their names, and then also
Aboriginals or the
Aboriginal
Melanesians.
Melanesians, I believe. Although I think that someone was telling me that there's some new term you should use instead of Melanesia.
Polynesians.
No, Polynesians are Austronesians.
Yeah, Austronesians.
Which are the Gook Asians, if you will.
Right. Like me. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. We're the sneakiest of the Asians.
So these people here,
wow,
I think they don't have any Denisovan.
Okay.
They don't have Denisovan ancestry, which is interesting because the people in places like Papua and Micronesia, they do, right?
Maybe there was
or Melanesia or whatever.
There could have been a branch off. I mean, dude, who fucking knows how anything got anywhere? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like past 10,000 years ago, we don't know shit about anything, and people have just been around forever. Just fucking and reproducing and moving around and becoming different things.
Yeah, the like 300,000 years is now like the sort of the date that is agreed upon, and people theorize that the humans, Homo sapiens could be around, or at least Homo sapiens, for at least 1 million. Some people are theorizing
I wouldn't even be surprised. It's just the only evidence goes back to like 400,000 years ago.
Yeah,
but it's like, who's to say there isn't some shit from twice as long ago?
Exactly.
Like we just haven't found it, and the likeliness of us finding anything is like so, like just so rare.
Yeah,
it's so. What are the odds that something would die in that perfect condition where it would just last for a million years for someone to find?
My thought is that Homo sapiens were very coastal people. Homo sapiens were very coastal, and those conditions aren't going to preserve.
Yeah.
So I think what we're finding are in places where Homo sapiens are pushed into inland more, and those places preserved remains better.
Yeah.
But
totally.
I mean, if I consider my own anatomy, your anatomy, our Homo sapien adaptations and whatnot, we're relatively hairless, which going through water is less resistance.
That's right.
But we still retain hair on our head, which I think would protect us from sun. And also when I don't think we swam too much.
Yeah.
Like we mostly waded. I imagine that, which also helped being upright, because a lot of primates have problems walking upright for long periods of time.
Yeah.
But when you're in the water, your body's supported. So there's the theory that it happened on the savannah, which could very well be. But then being in tide pools and so on, looking for shellfish and clams, makes more sense to me, because our hands are not. I mean, this isn't going to take down a woolly mammoth or a bear, or even even this. You're not going to catch a squirrel or something, right?
Yeah.
You're going to rip a squirrel apart with these hands. But you can definitely get clams and smash them on rocks, or use rocks to smash clams open and catch all sort of crustaceans and so on. And it would also explain why we have like this dexterity in our hands. Okay. You look at otters too and stuff, and
otters
they're
they do use their hands, don't they?
Yeah, and they smash rocks. They put a rock on their
tummy,
and they smash clams and stuff on it.
That's like what we do, but we just jerk off on our tummies. We're like otters.
What, you put a rock on your chest when you jerk off?
I'm just killing the fucking. My bad. I didn't mean to kill you.
It's okay. We are
the knowledge stream. All right, it's time for the one dick joke, and then every 10 minutes. Wow, yeah, all those adaptations definitely support a lot of evolution near water, 100%.
Yeah,
for sure.
Also,
that makes sense.
Also, the frizzy hair, the nappy hair, has advantages in the tropics. It's not as it dries faster. You have more aeration through it. Wow. Whereas the flat, which is actually a Neanderthal adaptation. The flat hair, the straight hair, like that I have, that you have, is actually a Neanderthal adaptation to the cold, which at least there's a theory, because it can grow longer, you can protect your neck and so on, and it traps heat.
Protects your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's so wild, dude.
Like, I'm envious of their hair when I'm there, because I'm sweating, my neck is sweating, and and then they hold stuff in their hair too. Like they hold like the women there, they got the flowers and so on, but the men also put the darts.
Okay.
The darts that they hunt with, they keep them in their hair. Wow. Yeah.
So they're building a shelter right now.
Yep.
And this is what they live in year round, basically? Not year round, but like they build new ones.
Yeah.
But this is what they build.
This is what they would have lived in traditionally in the past. And they still use them. When they go to the forest, they'll build a quick one. Even on a day trip, they'll just build one. Even if they're only going for a few hours. They can build this in... They collected, I say, the material in an hour, and then they put it together in an hour. So 2 hours they made this thing, between the 4 women. And that's with taking breaks as well. I helped them out as well. So I definitely...
Wow. So filming all this stuff...
Slowed them down.
What did you take out in the field with you?
I just took my phone. I just took my...
this is all from a phone?
This is all from a phone.
Holy
4K.
shit, dude.
I mean, I would like to have a camera with better, like a lens, a little bit better white balance.
You know what would be cool is to go... If you were like a video producer out there and you had like this bamboo, like everything you made is like some Flintstone
bamboo camera.
It's like, everything, like you have everyday accessories, but they're just made with things from the jungle. Dude, this is insane.
It's these shelters, they call them hayat, and they're open air. They don't close them.
What do they do during like a tropical storm?
They just get under one of those. That's it.
But is it how deep is it in the ground? Is it gonna blow over? Like, is it gonna blow away?
When you're in the jungle, the trees in the jungle and the foliage is so dense that the wind and so on doesn't really rage inside underneath the canopy as much. It's all up in the top of the canopy, and that's why they wouldn't build their shelters under big trees. They build them away from big trees so that no big branch would fall down and kill them, because that's historically happened. They know that. They don't do that. And so in the jungle itself, you don't get much breeze. You don't get much wind. It's pretty still.
Holy shit.
It will rain. Like, if it rains, the wind still goes in, but it's not like you're on an open savanna or anything like that.
Where do they collect their drinking water?
So in the village, they have a pipe that goes down from the mountain. But if they were in the jungle, they know which streams are clean and so on. And most of the water, if it was just plain jungle, if there's a spring anywhere and water comes out of the ground, that would be clean. And then certain streams, they would know which ones would be clean. Water that's not stagnant and away from what would you call it? Plantations or anything where there would be animals or people to contaminate it.
Shit.
And now they boil a lot of they boil their water when they're in their village, if they get it from the stream, and rainwater they collect as well.
Oh my god.
So it's interesting, like we see them, and because they're wearing these clothes, these like
where do they get their clothes from?
I'm not exactly sure, but there's so much clothing waste from America and the West that's just like donated and dumped into poor countries that they just I think Rwanda actually refused to take.
Why they get so many?
They just don't want the people to look like trash.
Yeah,
because it's just like just bulky T-shirts
big
and
shirt
stuff.
Big gray shirt that says Stanford on it.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Alright,
Walmart or something, or like Dave's 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And then your people.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Thailand.
Yeah, so I don't know where they're getting their stuff from exactly, but so they have sort of an appearance of being somewhat modern because of their, and I mean they are modern. They're as modern as we are because they live now and they've made the choices to live the way they do, and I don't see them as archaic or anything like that. They're modern people, and I believe that there should be more room to accommodate people who want to live like that. Just because they don't want to do this or that, I don't think that makes them any less modern or progressive or whatever the term is.
Mm-hmm.
We see civilization sees them as archaic relics, something that either needs to be civilized or studied, but
Mm-hmm.
I see them as people that deserve to live the way they want to live. And they don't want to live like this. This is something that's been forced upon them, these villages. Some of these guys, I mean, they want to do what they want to do. Now that they have this option, they want to keep this, but also they want to have the jungle option. So if they want to stay in the village, okay, we'll come in the village. But then if the jungle was more intact, they would spend more time in the jungle if there was more game and more things to collect. But they're always telling me like, there's no more of this resin anymore. There's no more resin. It's all gone. Or there's no more animals to hunt. So they're being forced to live like this. And then some of the elders are just decide like, you know what, we're moving. I don't want to live here anymore. And they'll move away from what the government told them to live and designated them to live.
Wow.
And the government's always trying to tell them to become Muslims and do this, do that, plant things, and go to school.
How many are there total of the Orang Asli?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know if they number 1 million people in Malaysia. They're quite small part of the population.
Holy shit.
Maybe less than 1% of the total Malaysian population. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude.
If you read about,
gnarly.
There's this really good book called Malaysia's Original People, and it gives you a really good insight into how the peninsula sort of existed as an economic system with different native people filling different economic gaps or like different sectors. So anyway, these Austroasiatic people moved down and they bring slash and burn. And then they filled these different economic niches according to also the environment. You have the coastal people. There were coastal hunter-gatherers. There were people growing millet and so on. And they're trading with each other and living very peacefully, actually. There was very little evidence of... There's no evidence of like
warfare.
War. There might have been some battles or someone who I'm not sure exactly, but nothing that I came across. But there was some... I think there was like armed conflict with the Malays later. Not so much the Batek people. They're generally a peaceful, conflict avoiding people.
Wow, dude.
Also, because of their mobility, they would rather just move, and because they don't have the infrastructure. So
they're built to kind of just move.
Yeah.
They're not built for conflict.
Yeah. Everything they do is sort of conflict avoiding, even just like amongst themselves in the forest. When they lived in the forest, if there was disagreement, you would just move your camp. You would just build a hut somewhere else and go live with your relatives somewhere else.
What are the Batek people? What do they laugh at? What's like their sense of humor like?
Someone gets scared. Someone like suddenly gets shocked. Something
like the pussy, like that's like universal.
Like someone falls down.
Sure.
Someone farts.
Did anyone rip a fucking rip a gnarly ass fart while you're out there?
No. I mean, if they did, I didn't hear it. My friend had a little fart, and he laughed at himself, and then he taught me the word for fart too, which is gunking. They'll laugh at you, like, because you're different, and the kids will just come and laugh You know, when they see you.
Yeah, it's like I feel like that's a harmless thing.
Yeah,
it's harmless.
Yeah,
of course.
Because I don't have the language too much, but you know, also they'll laugh when they're trying to explain something to you, and you don't understand, and they don't understand what you're saying, and then they'll just laugh.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then they'll look at then they would look at and be like, "Please help us explain."
Are there any gays? Are there gays out there besides you? Of course.
You trying to smash?
Are there any gay dudes out there or gay chicks? Is gayness a thing out in the rainforest?
I don't know. Like I imagine, because apparently, gayness is biological, but I don't know. I didn't. I also didn't ask or inquire.
Did they ever like have sex jokes?
Not really.
So it was kind of like, what was the rating? You say PG-13?
Not that I know, because I also don't speak their language very well. I know very. So they could have been
like making like, I'm gonna rape this dude and shit like that. They could have been making all types of jokes.
Well, maybe there is a Chris Raufeisen among
them. That's hilarious. Yo, dude, this is fucking insane. That's awesome. What do they like follow any sports?
But wait, for the record, also I'm not gay, because also that would cause a problem with in Malaysia. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, it's illegal to be gay there.
Yeah.
Right.
And they wouldn't want you going there and spreading whatever.
You're not allowed
gay
to go
Western.
There. It's like COVID. You got to be quarantined until you're not gay.
Yeah. They always tell me like, hey, when you come here, the Malay villagers are insecure because they think you're trying to convert us to Christianity. I'm like, I'm not doing that at all. That's not my intention at all. I don't like missionaries. I think that missionarying of any kind is just, it's sad.
Yeah, I think sad is the right word. It's
just let these people. It's a disrespect.
If you want to go there and like live amongst them, I guess, and share what you believe in, but not force it on them. Like we kind of just let them observe it. I suppose that's fine.
I think it also is an insecurity.
When you're doing like PR for it, well, it's kind of like I'm not sure if I really. Yeah, it's like I don't know if this is true. I want you to believe it too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I need you to do this too.
Yeah.
Because
if you make other people believe what you believe, you're gonna feel better about this bullshit ass thing, for sure.
So yeah,
I just cracked religion.
I have no missionary intentions there, and the state wants more control, and whether the people who are the agents of that understand that or not, the direction of the state is always the same. It's to administer control into greater spheres of life and into all populations within its borders, right?
Wow.
And to its citizens abroad. That's what the state wants to do. And first it had to make citizens, right? When states and nations were built, they first had to go around telling everyone, yeah, you belong to us. You have to do as I say. You have to do as we say. You have to speak our language. You have to fight in our wars, and you have to pay taxes. Yeah. And the people were like, who the hell are you?
Right.
And then they beat them. And then they took their kids and put them in school, and they took their men and made them fight. And when they came back, their land was taken away from them. That happened all over Europe. And now, with the last of the indigenous people, that's what's happening to them. Jesus. In Malaysia, in India, in Africa, in the Andaman Islands, in the Nicobars, Amazon.
Yeah.
You can't have people that exist outside of the states. That would be an offense. Right. That's an offense to the state. So.
Wow, dude.
And that's why, that's why people who are missionaries sort of serve. I mean, if you are a missionary who is promoting the religion of the state,
right,
then you are an agent of the state at the same time. Because you are bringing that person into the sphere of influence of the state, a person who will follow the rules, who knows to send their kids to school. You're going to speak the same language. You're going to know the rules.
Yeah.
You can't get so mad at someone who doesn't understand. But then, in the past, you would just beat them. And that's what they did to a lot of us. But now it's like, we can't use corporal punishment. But, if they know the rules, then we can apply corporal punishment.
Right. But they're not.
Yeah.
They're not in that system.
Because, if you stop paying taxes, someone's going to throw you in jail. Right? Because you know the rules.
Right.
These people don't know. They don't pay taxes.
Right.
But they don't know the rules. But they also don't respect the rules, which they shouldn't. I mean,
wow.
It's their land, it's their way of life. None of us actually should be forced to do all these things. You know,
it's crazy that something like this exists nowadays. You know,
and I hope
in a place like Malaysia, where it's like, I don't know, maybe Malaysia is just a couple. I mean, there's a few big cities, I suppose, but there's probably a ton of land that's just like, you know, there's people like this living on it.
Now, most of it, unfortunately, has been converted to palm plantation.
Wow.
So much is palm plantation. Or other, you know, durian, rubber.
The world needs oil. Yeah.
Yeah, and in Europe, I mean, Europe is no different. Europe's just sunflower plantations and cash crops and whatnot. So wheat fields, that was all forests where people lived differently long ago as well.
This is
in a more
awesome
mixed economy, mixed sort of non-monocropped subsistence way of living.
Monocrop kills everything.
It does. Yeah.
Monocrop wipes out all.
But it's good for taxes, because the tax man comes and is like, oh, you got this many fields, I'll take 10%. But if it's if
it's all fucking diversified,
you don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do. Wow.
Yeah.
So these people, wow, man, that's pretty wild.
So now they're making adornment, like personal adornment.
What language do they speak?
So they speak their language, which they call Batek. But then there's a few groups that claim Batek identity, and they consider themselves different. So there's a group in Kelantan, and then there's this group in Pahang, and they consider each other different, and they have different terms for each other as well. But they have a very similar language. It would be maybe as similar as maybe Swiss German and German, something, or maybe even closer.
Right,
like Austrian German and German, even closer. I mean, you can't even. But then there are certain words which are just completely different, like the word for for you in their language is pan in this group's, and in the other group it's mo, so quite different. Still a monosyllable, but yeah.
Wow, bro. What'd you do for food when you were out there? What did they feed you? Or what did you
I actually had to do a lot of the shopping. So I'd go to the store. My friend would say, "Hey, we're hungry. Let's go to the store, Phil."
These guys go to the store?
Yeah, so
these guys go to the store?
Yeah.
What do they eat? What do they eat from the jungle, though? Do they eat anything?
Yeah. A lot of fish. They'll go catch fish.
Okay.
Fruit. They'll bring back tubers. A lot of tubers.
Well, so what do they pick up at the store? Like all the things?
Chicken, fish, rice. Sugar, tea, crackers.
Wow.
And a couple vegetables.
Wow, dude.
They have a lot of food taboos as well. Like you can't mix food from land with food from water. You can't mix mushrooms with anything else, I think. You can't. They don't eat fish over a certain size. They don't eat four-legged, and they don't eat. They eat four-legged animals. Like they'll eat rats, but they won't eat like tapir and so on. And a friend of mine has a theory that it's to avoid conflict with tigers in the past. So they have this taboo. They wouldn't eat like pigs and deer and so on. They focus on arboreal animals, monkeys, gibbons, birds, and fish.
Wow.
Things that tiger generally don't go after. Yeah.
Wow. I've seen a monkey eat I've seen a tiger eat a monkey though. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. Mm-hmm. So by not being in competition, they think the tiger will spare them. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Or just not get angry at them.
Right. That makes perfect sense. That's a great.
And this is actually where the lady was banging on the tree with her machete to scare away the tiger that was near us.
So there was a tiger here while you were filming?
Yeah. It was growling, and I didn't know it was a tiger because I never heard a tiger before.
Holy fuck.
But it was growling. It was maybe like 30, 40 yards away. And then the dog started barking at it, and then they were going off at each other. Like they were barking at each other for a bit.
Oh, my God.
And then everyone was like just seeing what was, observing, listening. And then at some point, that lady got up and started banging on the tree.
At some point, that lady got eaten by a tiger. What would you have done if that tiger just ate somebody? What would you have done if it came out and attacked
hopefully
somebody?
I'd got it on camera.
Wow. Would you run? Would you run?
I don't know, because it just seems very scary. You know, the
I mean, that's the scariest thing possible would be to
Yeah.
get eaten by a tiger. Maybe a snake. If a snake bites you, how's the snake situation?
Oh, there's poisonous snakes, deadly poisonous
for sure.
snakes. Yep.
Did you see any giant insects or big snakes?
Not on this trip, but I've seen a scorpion before. Cave spider, which are harmless. The cave spiders.
Cave spiders are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think they're whip scorpions actually. But
Yeah.
they look
The
like
first time I
spiders.
saw a cave spider, I was freaked the fuck out though.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I'd never seen anything like it. I was probably like 17. I was like, I thought I knew every. I'm like, yeah, I think I know about every animal in the world. So what the fuck is that? So insects aren't too bad. There's not too many crazy.
There are.
creepy
There's
crawlies.
centipedes. There's ants that bite and are itchy. There's ants that bite and are painful. Not like the Amazonian ones,
Did you see any giant centipedes?
Millipedes, not giant centipedes, no.
Millipedes.
But the centipedes are deadly, poisonous, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's a scorpion which will leave you in pain for like days. Apparently, a little scorpion, like
Oh shit.
less than an inch.
Did anyone here ever get did anyone here ever tell stories of getting bit by one or fucking?
Well, they all know
Anything like
the
that?
consequences. I'm sure that they happen here and there. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean that tiger. There was that tiger story, which elephants are another danger that they're afraid of more
Oh,
than
really?
tigers. Yeah.
So there's wild elephants.
Yep.
Look at that dog.
So elephants have been pushed to the brink as well. You know, they would live in the forest, but now because there's not so many things in the forest for them to eat anymore, so they go to raid plantations and so on, eat fruit that villagers have there, bananas, durian, whatever, and yeah. Elephants either they travel alone or in packs, and they'll just run you over, just flatten you, and tear up your whole camp. Like
Yeah, they fuck shit up.
if there was a camp that was trampled by elephants that my friend sent me a video of.
Jesus Christ.
The elephants just go in and smash everything.
Oh my god, that's fucking.
You just have to run.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty insane, dude. That's crazy. Muslims can't have dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are there no dogs in Malaysia? There's like no dogs.
There's dogs. I mean, Chinese people live there and they like keeping dogs. And Indian
the
people,
Chinese.
Indian people can keep dogs.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And I imagine the
Wow, that's wild, dude. I had no idea.
the
So-
more like sedentary Orang Asli, like the Samai and so on, they might have kept dogs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they keep any like chickens?
Not actively. There are chickens running around, but they don't cull them. They don't eat them. People just brought chickens and they just run
Do
around.
they do the eggs?
No.
Wow, they're just there.
They are so hands off when it comes to, like, if you read about any anthropological literature about hunter gatherers, immediate return hunter gatherers, they generally or universally don't keep livestock because they don't. I imagine there's two reasons. One is that would cause conflict within the group. So you have animals, and then someone's hungry. Like I want to eat that animal. It's like no, I want to eat.
Get your own. Animal.
Yeah. So then that would create
Wow.
conflict. So that's why they don't consume animals that they keep.
That's crazy.
The other reason is they would get attached. You know, they're so intimate with they know their social world is so intimate. Like they know each other. They know everyone's name. They know who they're related to and so on. And the animals, like they would see them every day, and because they rely on other food stuff, they would feel bad
Holy shit.
killing these animals that they know.
Right, of course. They're friends technically.
Yeah, there's stories of, like in the Amazon and of people like nurturing, and in Penang, in Sarawak in
Kalimantan.
Kalimantan, Sarawak in Malaysia, East Malaysia, where the people have hunted monkeys, and they killed someone who had they killed a mother who had babies, and then they raised the babies and let them go later, and still recognize them when they go hunting and don't kill that animal.
Wow.
Because they recognize it.
It's something else.
As one that they raised.
Which one we haven't watched this. The floor.
Yeah, this is making a bamboo floor. This is them making this is a friend of mine, Janton, making a floor for his hut. Actually, it was supposed to be a hut for but passed away, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah. Diabetes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sugar. Too much sugar?
So, yeah, and sedentary lifestyle. And, I mean, these people, they've been living... I mean, they've had rice through trade for a long time, but they haven't been sedentary for more than now about 30 years. In the 90s, they were settled.
2 generations.
Yeah, so they were in the settled in the 90s. So my friend, he was born in the jungle, but then he grew up in the camp. He was brought into the settlement in his first year of life. So all his foreparents before that were all jungle nomads. And then suddenly he's thrust into this life where he doesn't have to move around as much. They rely on outside foods. There's processed foods now, all sorts of food additives. There's sugar. I mean, they always traded for sugar, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And also they would have more jungle food. So the amount of calories coming from jungle food has drastically decreased, and the amount of store-bought food, refined foods, has increased dramatically.
Wow.
Yeah. And also that has affected their dental hygiene, dental rates of cavities and so on. So he actually had an infected tooth, and being diabetic, it caused an infection, and he passed away. He's just 30 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So young. I think you showed me, I'm sure you showed me videos of
Yeah.
Man, sorry to hear that. He's like a nice dude.
He was the best. He wanted to make funny videos.
Yeah. See, that's crazy. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to entertain.
Yeah. He was also in a band before when he could walk.
How do they entertain themselves? Like, is there do they do a fire at night?
Not necessarily. They don't particularly do a fire. And I think, from what I've read in anthropological literature, they would move around in camps where there's nuclear families camp together, 3 or 4 nuclear families that would camp together. And each of them would just have their hut and have their own little fire. But then they would all be sort of facing, either inwards to each other so they could just chat across.
Yeah.
Wow. And then just, their kids are there, so the kids snuggle up with them, fall asleep, and they're just chatting. And people go to sleep early. Now they have phones and light, but they still sleep, much earlier than we do.
Wow.
And then, they're watching videos. Some of them have.
They know about
I was in another village. They have much more electricity, so they're staying up late. They stay till 12. The kids are playing games on their phones.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously? The kids of these people are playing games on their phone?
Yeah, like a racing game. Not in this village. I didn't see this village so much. But they would also like to watch, the young guys like to watch football.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah. They also just talk and just hang out. They don't seem as they don't have this. I don't think they have as much insecurity as we do.
Of course.
They can just sit around and not do anything. Just sit and just be
wow.
Not. Whereas we're always oh, gotta accomplish something, gotta do something, gotta.
Yeah, seriously.
And that's a conditioning of school, and that's a conditioning of being an employee, being get your homework done. You're not good enough.
Do you feel like some of them want to join society?
Not really. I mean, maybe 1 or 2, but to what extent?
Yeah.
They want to. I feel like some of them have certainly gotten insecurities. I mean, that's also why they're wearing more clothes. In the past, they wouldn't wear all these clothes, but because of their proximity to the Muslim population, the Muslims shamed them, for being, make them feel bad when they're not wearing clothes in the past.
Wow.
So now they always wear clothes. And when like the guys might be shirtless, and then someone from the Muslim village next door will come by, and then they'll put shirts on. It's that kind of thing.
Shit.
And so there's a couple guys. There's like only one guy that I met, and he's sort of like he wants to have some more clothes and so on. And
wow.
But that's it. I mean, that was kind of the extent of it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So they live like off the ground. Their shelters are typically off the ground.
Mm-hmm. I mean, some of the there's some cement houses that the government built that are on the ground.
What kind of possessions do they have?
Right now, I mean, they have anything that they could buy from the local stores.
Do they have like microwave?
No. They cook with gas or on fire.
Okay, they cook with gas.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Or with fire.
Wow.
Wow. In the forest they're cooking with fire.
Do they believe in ghosts, spirits, jungle things?
Yeah. There's a thunder god.
Okay.
Who gets angry, when there's thunder, that god is the sign that he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
And you can offend that god by doing things like mistreating an animal, or even just
cool.
doing a food taboo, like eating the wrong foods together. There's a lot of taboos they have, and sometimes if something unlucky happens to someone, they'll say, "Oh, that person must have broke a taboo" or something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
I feel like that's kind of a universal concept in Asia almost. It's a very Asian concept.
Yeah.
Maybe not universal, but like people kind of like, whatever their station is or whatever happens to them is kind of like, that's something catching up to them.
Also, it's like it's animism, right?
Yeah.
It's the universal sort of religion.
You're gonna turn that fucking shit off.
I don't know. It's Chris. It was Chris Beyer.
Oh shit. How's he doing?
It's 4:30. How long do you want to keep rolling?
We could wrap, dude. That was fucking solid as fuck. We walked through all your videos. Good work on all the videos.
Should we just wrap it up with something nice or just end it?
We can just wrap it up. We can just fucking sign off, dude.
Well, okay. Well, if you like this, I'm gonna put up more videos, and you're gonna come sometime. You're gonna join me.
Yeah, and I'll come join you someday out here in with the Batek people, dude. That sounds
or
insane.
the money in southern Thailand.
Sounds crazy. My plan is I'm gonna be jacked, and I'm gonna go out there with 2 machetes strapped to my back, and I'll be wearing boots and camouflage army pants, no shirt.
Yeah,
and then just two straps with fucking machetes, and probably bandana.
And then
good photo ops.
Fight predator.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be like I'm not gonna take any chance. I'm not gonna get a tiger bite. Tiger's not gonna attack me. I'm gonna make it very hard for a tiger to kill me. If you want to watch more from Phil here, you can go check out his channel, PHILKOOBEEDOO, on YouTube. Yep. And he's got a ton of videos, and he's got more coming down. Yeah, and on Instagram, Philippe Koo, PHILIPPEKOO. Right on, dude. Thanks for joining me. Yeah. See you next time on whatever the fuck this is.